we've taken time to try and understand what you do when the world's complex and you can't make decisions. And we've basically rethought a number of things like what should people be learning, what should managers be doing. We've taken the traditional things which have been taught, like strategy, and we said, does this really work when the world changes faster than you can learn? And the answer usually is no. The pace now of change now actually exceeds our ability to learn. And so we need to find ways of delivering what we want, even though we don't fully understand everything around us.
The crisis is just part of a number of events which have been happening for the past 20 years. And I want to build this up, because once you get your head around that, it then gets easy to decide revolutionary, evolutionary, innovation, where does our organization fit? So I want to build that up.
The world is getting faster, there are more people on it, they're more connected. The pace is going up, the scale, everyone's global. What does that mean? It means you're in competition with everyone else. That's not the case from 20 years ago. So I think the case for reinvention and actually starting to think about what you need to do to succeed in a more fundamental way is probably more important. What we found is for most organizations in the current business environment, the problems are incredibly similar. You know, cost base isn't in the right place, we can't get the customers. They're all roughly the same problems, but the solutions are absolutely industry, or even more importantly, individual company specific. So you really have to craft it with them to get something for them.
You know, you don't want customers who aren't moving with you. You know, if your customers are all stuck in another age, they're going to struggle as well. You don't hook yourself to people who in the longer term haven't got a future. Well, you can, it's allowed, as long as they've got deep pockets, and I'll show you that when we talk about how to select clients and customers in difficult times.
I would say in the current economic situation, it's probably almost as important that people forget their old ways of learning, behaving, running their businesses as they learn new ways of doing it. Because what they're doing is they're building the new stuff on top of the old stuff, and they have no time to execute it properly because they won't let go of the old stuff.
So when you are driving change, just be aware, people will have in their mind all the things they think are not going to work with what you're suggesting. Unless you can surface them and deal with them, you won't get much traction.
What we try and do is we try and mix this fun and learning piece so that people are enjoying themselves while they're learning something new. Otherwise it ends up a little bit too threatening and a bit too scary to go back and do something about. So if it's an enjoyable experience and you get a couple of ahas and then some concrete things you can go away and do, and you know that there's somebody you can go back to when you start putting them into practice, that's what they get out of it.
So you want radical stuff, and this table doesn't want radical stuff. It's going to be tough today, isn't it?
As a general rule, I find that people find it quite cathartic. They realize why they've been so stressed and why they've been rushing around. They often quickly get lots of insights about what they could do differently. So it's an interesting message.
It's what you do if you don't do this kind of stuff that's the issue, because business goes on and we need to innovate more than ever for us to survive in the future.
Always the challenge with any training course is applying the theory to the practical and the implementable, and I think one of the things that I've certainly brought from today is actually real things that I can apply to my day-to-day job.
I think everybody on our table took away some really useful ideas that they could then work in their own environments.
I'm less worried about the message as I am about what they actually go away and do differently and consistently do differently and turn into a habit and turn into a business and a way of working and a culture. I think understanding it is easy. Making it happen requires a different level of discipline.
Do you understand what this means? If you're transforming your business and you're not completely miserable, it probably means you're screwing it up.